Well, welcome back. County Executive Elrich has proposed a 10% property tax increase. Now, this would pay for more county support for the public schools, and the fight has pitted homeowners against government employee unions, which have very actively rallied in support of the increase. So far, the council has been caught in the middle, and it's really not clear whether or not they're going to go along. Maricé, what's your take? Will the council go along with the increase, and should they?
That is the million-dollar question, right? I think at this point, looking at our priorities in the county and just seeing, just the hit that our school teachers have taken post-pandemic times, I think it's important to look at, if we want to have quality education, then we really need to pay for what we're looking for. And just looking at it from a millennial's perspective, I can tell you when I was in law school, most of my class members and the people that I gravitated towards had started their careers as teachers, but just would not really, just wasn't going to be sustainable in the long run. So just looking at what Marc Elrich's and Madaleno, I'm just blanking on his name, even though he's like a close friend of mine. What they're really talking about is, what the county needs to come up with in order for us to push through for the blueprint. And some of the issues are really starting salaries for our educators, and we're looking at an increase from 60,000 to 75,000. And if you think about all the student debt, because educators, they are our sharp and our brightest individuals that we would like to recruit. And you're looking at graduate school student debt, undergrad student debt, and all of this continuing education that is needed, and also not to mention the diverse needs of our county. So I think that just looking at, for an example, a homeowner who owns a $600,000 home would see a $600 tax increase. So we're going from 98 cents to the $100, going to then I think it's $1.28 for the $100 of your the footage in your home. So I think it's something that we can't afford, and something that as a collective we should be looking at an investment for our future and what we want the county to be able to produce in terms of the leaders, the engineers, the educators of tomorrow.
Laurie, County Executive Elrich says the property owners should support the increase because otherwise their property values may go down. And his theory is that MoCo real estate values depends on the perceived value of the Montgomery County Public Schools. And if that perceived value goes away, values will go down. So what do you think of that as an argument?
Well, look, this is a 10% increase on top of the increases that we already got in our property values, which, my house went way up in the property value. That is much big. In these times, it's unthinkable to do something like that. And the problem is the blueprint passed without a way to pay for it. Democrats screwed up again, and now our county is struggling to try to meet the needs. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to add more teachers and add more pay. That's what Marc Elrich is saying. We got to pay teachers more. Yeah, that's true. Teachers deserve to be paid a lot of money. However, I'm not hearing any new ideas. Over the years, we've done the same thing over and over again, and I'm tired of it. We need to change the ideas. We need to add more choice. We need to increase the boost, which is a voucher program, which our Democrats, most Democrats have been against, and it's really a bipartisan thing in a lot of states. So we really need to think of new ideas in this state to make education better. People are going to be leaving. They're already leaving. When you look at the latest data from the census, you can see over 7,000 people have left the county. They're leaving with their feet. And it already is out there that education is worse in Montgomery County, and it's worse because we're not doing anything new.
Well, you're right. That is a big sea change, this change in population after years and years of growth. But let me just turn to Maricé with this increased local spending. That's already been mandated over the next couple of years as a result of what we've already talked about, which is the Corwin or blueprint proposal. So these increases in some respects are already baked in. So is this a case of pay me now or pay me later?
I wouldn't really frame it in that way. I would say it's the meeting of different things. The blueprint has been, as you mentioned, has been in the works from the Urban Commission, but then we also have to deal with the consequences of it. And so I think that at this point, we know the values of our county, and I am certain that the council is going to take into consideration, Laurie's views, because again, we are, as elected officials, we represent all of our constituents. So I think that, I trust in what the county council is going to come up with a balanced approach. And we also understand, the give and take between the county executive and the county council. So I don't think, it's going to be just, I'm going to get my way and I'm going to bulldoze it through. I think it really is going to be a result of kind of a balanced conversation.
So we will wait to see. There's a certain amount of drama on that. There's a schedule that goes on in May as we wrap up. So we'll see what the council ends up coming up with on that. So one of the unique aspects of Maryland politics is that political central committees get to fill legislative vacancies. And the Montgomery County Democratic Central Committee has filled 4 so far this year. It has another one in the works for Kumar Barve, who's been is being nominated for another appointment. Maricé, is this the right way to fill these legislative vacancies, or should the voters decide in a special election?
This is really a fascinating question, and that's something that I never was really in favor of. This kind of like, just small bodies electing, the individuals to fulfill these, open seats. I think it's going to take, some legislative changes, et cetera. And we have seen some leaders come up with that, and so I think at this point, I think most voting individuals would probably agree with that. I think that it is not a very democratic process, and even members of the Central Committee themselves, have chosen to recuse themselves. They do different things to kind of neutralize it. Like we saw Mark Robles, who was also one of the candidates that ran for the District 39 seat, and he's a current member of the Central Committee, and he took it upon himself to recuse himself. And I think nobody was asking him to do it; he just did it because he thought it was the right thing to do. But also, I've also fallen on my sword, and ultimately, did that get him elected? It didn't. So it's like, at the end of the day, the rules. I didn't write the rules. I think it's time to modernize the rules.
So, Laurie, you've been a bystander on this. You're on your party's Central Committee, but because Republicans have no legislative seats, you have no prospects of filling any vacancies, at least for the next 4 years. So what do you think? Are the current rules right, or should there be special elections?
Well, there are 25 states that have special elections, and only 9 states are like our state, where the governor makes the decision after the Central Committee makes a recommendation. I really think we should go to special elections after researching through this. I think that our county is it's not just a small little county where everyone's the same. Every portion of the county is very different. Up county versus down county versus Chevy Chase, which is close to DC, versus the Ag Reserve. Everything is different. So how could a Central Committee vote for one specific district when they don't really know the needs of that district? It's better for the people in that district to vote for the person they want to win, but you also want to make sure that they're represented during the session, and so there's maybe there's a hybrid form, or maybe we should just figure out how to do elections where we could quickly get someone elected but fairly elected. So I think something needs to change. I certainly wouldn't want the responsibility of voting for a person in a district like in the Ag Reserve, because I'm not as familiar with the needs of the Ag Reserve as I should be.